Reason being, man, we got the greatest mixed martial arts fighter retired. He retired. And that's devastating. To me, that's devastating, man. To see him go out like that, in his own time, that's always good. But it's devastating just because I enjoyed watching Demetrius Johnson. I really enjoyed him. I enjoyed him in the UFC. I enjoyed him before he even had the 125-pound belt when he fought Dominic Cruz, and he gave Dominic Cruz everything he could handle. Um, yeah, man. So watching him, retire was devastating to me. But bless him, bless his family. Um, his journey begins now. To venture out and live life besides being, a mixed martial artist. Even though most likely he's gonna still train certain aspects of mixed martial arts, especially Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Um, but most likely it'll be a lot less because he's not preparing to fight, or he's not preparing to enter a fight camp. I just think it's very interesting, and I'm glad that he didn't put down the belt and he walked out of there with that belt. Um, yeah, I'm glad he did that. It's a good look, in my opinion. It's a good look. Um, but moving on from that, we also have UFC tonight. It's Saturday now. It's 5. Where I'm at is about 5:15. So yeah, man, we have a great fight tonight. A great card tonight. It's Burns versus Brady, I believe. That's the main event. Um, I picked Burns to win this fight just because the guy is just phenomenal. You look at his resume, man. Yeah, he lost against Kamaru Usman, but he had Kamaru Usman in trouble, especially in that first round. Whoo, caught him with a nice, I think it was a right hook. Ooh, shook him up a bit, man. So Burns, he's a hell of a fighter, man. He really is. He's a hell of a fighter. So I'm definitely gonna watch him. I think he can pull this one off. Brady is a great fighter as well. He's a good fighter, but I think I think wait, I gotta. How is Beetlejuice? Oh man, Beetlejuice. I don't know. I have no idea. I think they came out with a new movie, right? Correct? If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they have like Beetlejuice 2 and whatnot. I haven't watched it, um, but yeah. Uh, I did watch Bad Boys recently, the newest Bad Boys, and I thought that was entertaining. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than that, but man, I gotta say that movie was a good movie. It was a good movie. Wait. It says gather your mana and give us a haka. What? What? I don't know what you're saying, Jag. GGG. I really don't. That one I don't understand. But going back to what I was saying about Burns, man. Yeah, he had Usman in trouble. He had Usman on wobbly legs. Hey, how you doing, Zach? He had him on wobbly legs, man. And Burns, he didn't win that fight, but he looked great. And against the champ, Google Hoka. Haka. All right, I will. I can't do that right now. Just be. You know what? I should turn on my computer just to Google that, but uh, not right now. I can't look it up right now. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, even against the champ, the welterweight champ, Burns, he came out. He was looking great before that shoulder injury, I believe. When he went for the takedown and his shoulder, I believe, hyperextended, and it pulled, it tore in multiple places. Um, Wyatt, uh, thank you for that. Thank you, Wyatt. I appreciate that. Um, Bless you as well. Um, but yeah, man. Let's go back. In time and yeah, Burns is 38 years old, but you go back in time and you look at those fights, even the fights that he lost, he looked impressive. Dude, if you knew, well, you would totally do it. I don't know what that is. And what's a mana? Mana. Mana. And what language is that? Is that English or Spanish or Portuguese? I'm not sure. You lost me. Just Google it. Alright. I'll Google it. I'll Google it for sure, Jack. Um but yeah, man. Yeah, so I think Burns can really take this fight. I think he will take this fight. Whether it goes on the ground or a stand up, I think Burns can really show everybody what he's capable of. He is dangerous on the feet. That guy is dangerous. New Zealand, New Zealand, New Zealand, New Zealand. Wow. Well, bless you and bless New Zealand for sure. Um, he Burns is just yeah, man. He's great in the stand up. Very dangerous with his hands. He could put you away. He has power. But not only that, his Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is phenomenal. His Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is crazy. You know what? I'm gonna go look this up because now you just writing to me. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna go turn on my computer here just to Google this. Uh, Haka. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, Jag GGG. I hope you're not trying me right now. Giving me the bad juju. But regardless, I'm blessed. Um, but yeah, my computer's starting right now. What else? What else we got going on here? Let me turn this on real fast. I apologize. Hold on a second. All right, I'll look that up in a minute. But going going further, man. Yeah, I give Burns. I think Burns could win by decision. If not, I say he wins by uh, most likely KO or TKO for sure. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, man. Then we got this. We got today's event. We got back to back events with the UFC. We had a little layoff. A little layoff. You can call it a layover. Introduce yourself, brother. Introduce myself. Um, well, you can call me OE. Uh, my channel is specifically for uh, MMA content. Um, Felix, hope you have a blessed one. Hope you wish the same for me. And yeah, that's what I'm doing on here. Just a little bit of MMA content. Content. We have today is Saturday, so we have an event finally because we had I was just stating that we had a little layover last weekend. Now today we have Brady versus Burns. And then next weekend we have the big Sphere, this big Sphere event that the UFC have basically wasted $20 million in counting. Excellent answer. Thanks. I dig it. For sure. Can you dig it? Oh wait, I forgot. I totally forgot. I gotta go look this up for Jag. Hold on a second. Let me go look this up for you. Just because I don't know what that means. I can dig it. I can dig it. All right, hold on a second, guys. Let me Google this. Just because, yeah, I want to know what that means. All right, you said I just subscribe. I hang out when I'm around. For sure. Thank you, Felix. I appreciate the subscription. And actually, I might be the one of the only channels on YouTube. I'm dead serious. Go through all my videos and my shorts. I never tell people to subscribe. I never tell people to like. I don't know why. I just don't. I just don't. You know, I might be one of the few. All Blacks rugby. All right, so HAKA meaning. Oh wait, it says it. It says Haka, New Zealand. Haka, a dance that represents the tribe's strength, unity, and culture pride, is a physical and vocal display that can express a range of emotions, including joy, celebration, grief, and anger. The hookah also serves as a way to connect with ancestors and spiritual beliefs. You know what's funny about that, Jag JGG? I am very much into meditating. I am very much into eating the right foods and staying away from toxic drugs, like drinking, like whether it's beer, whether it's liquor, staying away from those products. Just because I noticed a huge difference in my sleep regimen, and I do study astral projection. And um, off topic real fast, Jag. Uh, when my mind is just totally off of anything, like any like drugs or anything like that, or a beer or something like that, man, the strength in my mind when I actually do things like that is, I'm talking 1,000 times better. So when I read this about the hookah is in the dance and what it represents, that's very very interesting. You got me interested in this. No, I'm not from New Zealand at all, but um, yeah, it's it's beautiful to see. You know, it really is. What is it? I just changed your life. You too, hookah, see it. Feel the power of the hookah. I don't know about I don't know about do it, right? I have no idea about do that. Um, but yeah, I think it's very interesting. I mean, we are all interconnected somehow. You know what I mean? I think we all share a software platform where we interconnect all our information and resources, but we, as a human, you know, as humans, we have yet to really dive in deep into that. I don't follow UFC much. I'm just a casual. I remember Brock versus Kane though. It's incredible how Kane stopped Brock first round, charged like a bull. Kane stopped Brock. Yeah, that was. You know what? Hey, it's all right, Felix. It's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay that you're not a diehard fan like someone would call me, right? But just the fact that you knew that fight, Brock versus Kane, that's a terrific fight. You're talking about one of the greatest um, fighters, heavyweight fighters of all time. We're talking about Cain Velasquez. That that those knees and the combination of his stamina and his his grit. Oh man, it showed. It really showed on that fight. Brock Lesnar did not know what he was running into. I tell you that much. But Brock Lesnar himself, he's a special specimen. He really was, man. Brock Lesnar came in from the WWE, and he broke through, became champion by beating Randy Couture, and then defended his championship with Frank Mir. Everybody knows how that went. He beat his head into the ground, basically. Talking to Brock Lesnar beat Frank Mir's head into the ground. And then, yeah, he met Cain Velasquez, you know. He met Cain Velasquez. He met Alistair Overeem. And those guys showed that there's levels. There's levels to this. But yeah, Felix, great, great memory right there when you're talking about Brock versus Cain. Those were the good old times in the heavyweight division. Really was. See the who could believe Christ has planned for you. Uh, yeah. I mean, look, Jag. I hope so. I hope his plan is great, and I hope I can fulfill each step of the way. You know, but I'm just living life. You know what I'm saying? I'm just another human being, and I'm just trying to do my best. You know, that's it. Very well said. I like how you mentioned Brock's knees. Scary. Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Guy was huge. His back was like a freaking Optimus Prime truck or something. You know, his back was huge. Brock Lesnar was just a, you know, everybody thought he was just a wrestler, you know, a professional wrestler, not. But they didn't know the accolades. They didn't know that he went to NCAA wrestling, you know, and he was, I don't want to say he was an Olympic champion. I don't think he was, but he did compete, you know, and he competed very well. Where's home? Here in West Coast. Oh, Felix, you in the West Coast. You in the West Coast. I am not on the West Coast. I am in the East Coast. I am in the East Coast right now, and I live in the southern part of the United States. I give you that much. Where? 5 a.m. Yeah, yeah, it is. It is 5 a.m. over here. It truly is. Um, what time is it over there in the West? Because we should be a few hours off of each other, if I'm not mistaken. It's 2:35 a.m. Yeah, yeah. That's early. That's early, man. Yeah, for sure. I'm usually up around that time, 2:35. I'm usually up. I'm up right now. It's five something in the morning. So I'm probably gonna stay up till like maybe 7 or something like that. We'll see. We'll see how today goes. I got a lot to do today. I gotta go shopping. Um, I got this UFC event tonight, which I do plan to go live, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if I might, you know, I might not go live. But you know, I might go live today just because I like doing commentating and I like doing the play-by-play. I find it really really intriguing. What's a good UFC fight this year? I want to see more of Izzy. Whoo, man! And that's funny. That's funny that you say that because Felix, I actually went live for Adesanya's um recent fight with Duplessis, and got a lot of got a lot of good comments on that. But yeah, I recently went live for Izzy's last fight. I think, man, what's a great fight this year? You know, from the top of my head, I really can't say what would be a great fight for this year. I think I think an interesting fight. I don't know if it's going to be a great fight, but an interesting fight. would be Alex Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree. And I know that's like not a lot of people even like that Khalil Roundtree is getting this opportunity to fight for the belt. But I'll tell you what, man, these are two guys that are gonna stand up with each other. There's not gonna be anybody going for a takedown, trying to do wrestling, or clinch up against the fence. It's not gonna be any of that, man. It really isn't. It's gonna be an exciting stand up fight, and we're gonna see a real kickboxer versus a Muay Thai fighter, which I find really, really intriguing because I did both and they both are very much different. So I want to see how they both approach this fight. And for people saying that Khalil Roundtree is not deserving, I'll tell you what, man, that guy is a beast. You know what I mean? He's eighth ranked. You know what I mean? We just watched what is it? A number 10 bantamweight versus a number 2 bantamweight. So that's not unheard of. You know what I mean? To leapfrog the line and go against somebody who's higher in rank. But that's a good fight. Khalil Roundtree versus Alex Pereira. It was Alex versus Proska too. Wait, it was Alex versus Proska too. You mean you mean Jerry Proska? What are you talking about? You talking about Jerry? Oh yeah, you're talking about Jerry. That's who you're talking about. Yeah, you're talking about. That was a good fight. That was a very, very good fight actually. Um, it was a good fight for Alex. Yeah, yeah. See, I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't recognize the spelling on that the first time you put it on there, Felix. But yeah, that was a great fight. That was a terrific fight. For Alex, that was even better. Oh yeah, oh yeah, it really did. I mean, it didn't end in seconds. But I could tell you what, that first round, whoo, that first round was great. And then in the second round, when he got head kicked, man, that head kick came flying. It came fast, and there was just no way of getting out of the way. You know what I mean? The only way it would have saved Jury was if he had his hands up and he would have blocked the kick. But unfortunately, his hands were down, and that's just his style. That's just the way he fights. John Jones versus Aspinall soon. Ah, I have to say something to you, Felix. I don't think John Jones is gonna fight Aspinall. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. That would be a terrific fight. It really would be a terrific fight. But I don't think John Jones would fight Aspinall. And the reason being is because I think John Jones is just, in his head, he believes that he's the greatest of all time. He's gonna fight Stipe Miocic, which really doesn't make sense because Stipe is like, my God, I think he's like 41, 42. I mean, look, age doesn't really have a factor, but we're talking about fighting career. Yeah, it really does. So we don't know what type of Stipe is walking in there. It could be Stipe with a cane. You know what I mean? So, I think John Jones just thinks, he beats him. He's considered one of the greatest fighters of all time. And I think for him, Aspinall is small fish. I think that's the issue here. I'm thinking right now as a casual, whose fighter I like. Whose fighter you like? Like what are you talking about? Like who's your favorite fighter? I could tell you my favorite fighter right off the bat. My favorite fighter is BJ Penn. And the reason why was because he was one of the first fighters that I got introduced to when I basically started getting into MMA. I got a chance to watch old videos of BJ Penn when he fought. I believe it was Machida. He fought Machida in heavyweight. I watched one of those fights early on, and man, yeah, the guy was phenomenal. BJ Penn was phenomenal. When he was in his prime, that guy was different. Yeah, BJ Penn. Um, but yeah, man. Well, who's your favorite fighter? Who's your favorite fighter, Felix? GSP for sure. BJ Penn was special too. Uh, like Machida, Izzy is special. Yeah, yeah. Adesanya is special. GSP, look, GSP was. Oh my gosh. Well, if we're talking about GSP, and I really got a chance to really be blessed by GSP because for some odd reason, to each other, for sure. Um, for some odd reason, GSP always fought around my birthday, and my birthday is around November-ish. So every time GSP would have a big pay-per-view fight, he will always fight around my birthday. So I really got a chance to watch him. And man, GSP was just an animal. And I'm not saying like a knockout artist or anything like that. He was just an animal when it came to his brain, his intelligence. You know, he would go into a fight and show new things, whether it was a strong jab. I remember when he fought Koscheck, GSP fought Koscheck, and he just demolished that. I think it was the right eye or left eye. I think it was the right eye. No, I think it was the left eye. Either way, he just demolished. GSP demolished Koscheck's eye. It was so bad at the end of the fight. And I read in an article later on that Koscheck couldn't even get on a plane to go home because his eye was in so bad condition. The higher elevation would have been bad for the swelling. Man, but GSP was great. And yeah, Izzy is great. And he still has a chance to become champion again if he just, puts in all the tools. I mean, look at what happened to Robbie Lawler. Must be one of the most technical fighters that ever stepped into the octagon, for sure. If we're talking about GSP, for sure, we're talking about he had a strong jab, he had great wrestling, and not only did he have great wrestling, but he had great timing. Whether sorry about that, guys. I apologize. I am totally sorry about that. My phone totally died. Sorry about that. I apologize, man. It must be one of the most technical fighters. You froze, bro. Still nothing. I know. I froze it. Unfortunately, my phone died right in the middle of me talking and doing this. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, I remember I saw GSP do like he would do a Superman, punch into a leg, a lower leg kick into, sprawl into a double leg takedown, and man, that was just phenomenal. Yes, I am back. I am back. That was just phenomenal. But I was just coming up. My phone had died. My phone died. I wasn't paying attention to, the percentages of my phone right there. But going back to what you were saying about GSP being one of the most technical fighters to ever step into the octagon, I remember I watched him do a Superman punch, right, into a lower leg kick, right, into a double leg sprawl takedown. When I saw that, I was like, man, this guy is on another level. You know what I mean? And it was so quick. You can tell he trained it over 1,000 times because that's the only way you could come with that type of combination, because it comes so quick. A Superman punch into a leg kick into a takedown. That he was phenomenal. What's his practice? What's his precision? What's his practice? What do you mean? What's his practice? Like GSP? What's his practice? I believe he started in karate. Yeah, GSP started in karate. His parents put him in karate, if I'm not mistaken, and then he developed. Uh, yeah, exactly. He started in karate, I believe, and I think by the time he was like 10 years old or something like that, maybe even younger, maybe 9 I want to give him, but I'll give him 10. I think around 10 years old was when GSP, he was black belt in karate already. So he had a great base and fundamental. Um, but yeah, he changed up his style, uh, progressively once he was in the UFC, just because there's only so many fighters that you can fight standing up. I think he knew that there was, other fighters out there that were uh, just as good as him, if not better, in stand up. But when you mix it up in mixed martial arts, and you have wrestling, and you have boxing, Muay Thai, all that, I say GSP did a great job of mixing it all together, and that's the reason why he came up on top most of the time, well, all the time. But yeah. Uh, what else? What else we got on here? So many fighters to talk about. It's crazy. Tall, tall fighters like the Spider, Izzy, and Alex are scary. Yeah, if we're talking about if we're talking about Anderson Silva, another like, in my opinion, in my opinion, he was a goat. Like, don't get me wrong, John Jones was great, and he still is. John Jones is still great, but there was nobody doing what Anderson Silva was doing. Not even GSP. You know what I mean? Not even John Jones. Anderson Silva was like on another planet. Oh yeah, Anderson Silva was on another planet, man. He was like in that what is it? That Dragon Ball Z chamber that Goku was in when he was training to beat who was it? I think he was training to beat Vegeta, I believe, or Cell, one of those. Oh, Frieza. Yeah, when he was traveling, he was gonna fight Frieza to save the planet, and he was in that chamber training. That was Anderson Silva in his prime, man. That guy was kicking people in the face. He was dodging punches, making you look like he was stuck in the Matrix. Oh man, Anderson Silva was just so fun to watch. You didn't know what he was gonna do next. The guy was phenomenal. The guy was phenomenal, man. Hold on a second, I got stuff on right here. But yeah, man. I still can't believe Demetrius Johnson has retired. That's another one of the great fighters of all time. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people don't give him his respect because of the division that he was in, but that's not his fault, and in my opinion, that guy had, if we're talking about technical fighters, that guy was the best. The best. Every fight that Demetrius Johnson went in, he came out of it unscathed. No bruises, no scratches, not even a little bump on his head. The guy was phenomenal. Great head movement, great speed, and his technicality was amazing. Do you know Thomas Hearns in boxing? He is terrifying. Like, and so Tom. Oh my God, yes, I know Thomas Hearns. You kidding me? Yeah, yeah. The guy was a monster. Mighty Mouse is Joe Rogan's favorite. Yeah. I mean, Joe Rogan, he has a lot of favorites. You know what I mean? Like, I remember on one of his podcasts, he was like, Ronda Rousey she's just the greatest mixed martial artist. I guess it was when she was on the podcast. He was like, he cried because he couldn't believe, the aura of Ronda Rousey. Like, Ronda Rousey could beat Floyd Mayweather. Like, come on, guys, you're taking it overboard. So when we're talking about Joe Rogan, you got to take some of his statements with a grain of salt. At least me, that's what I do. He's a great podcaster. I don't know him personally, but from what I see, he's a great guy, great commentator. When it comes to the UFC, a lot of people don't like his style anymore, but I've been watching the UFC since the beginning. So for me to say, oh, I don't like Joe Rogan as a commentator anymore, that's bull. The guy's great. The guy knows what he's talking about, and he's very informative. But yeah, let me see something here. I just want to look at this card that's happening tonight. Wow. Okay, I didn't even see. I didn't bother looking into that. We got Jessica Andrade versus Natalia Silva. That's gonna be a good fight. That's gonna be a good fight. Natalia Silva, she's badass. She's coming up, man. She really is. If Jessica Andrade is not careful, yeah, Natalia Silva could really take this one to her. But you know, Jessica Andrade, she's always, girl is always freaking tough. You know, we need to see more of that grappling on the fence to the takedown, and you know, more slamming from Jessica. That's her style. She's just reckless. She throws her hands with power, backs you up, and when she grabs a hold of you, she'll take you down, um, and she could hurt you. Whose fighter with age is one of the best? Couture must be the greatest, or the animal, or the animal. The animal. I know Randy Couture. Who's the animal? You talking about Yoel Romero? I love you. That's what you're talking about? Because he's an animal. If we're talking about animals, Yoel Romero was an animal. I think he's still competing, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but yeah, if we had to talk about older fighters, um, I give it to Randy Couture. I give it to Randy Couture. You know, he was great. He was older too, and when he beat Tim, when he came back uh, to the UFC to beat Tim Sylvia, that was a shocker. I forget how old he was, but he was up there in age. He really was. He beat Tim Sylvia and then beat Gonzaga. He slammed Gonzaga, made Gonzaga break his nose. And ended up winning that fight, and then ended up losing the belt to Brock Lesnar. I'm telling you, I'm an encyclopedia when I'm on my head when it comes to this UFC stuff. So sorry, Couture's nickname is indeed the animal. What? Randy Couture, Randy Couture, Randy Couture's nickname is the animal? Am I fucking lost? am I, am I really lost? I don't think that was his nickname. And the natural, yes, yes, because I was just about to say that, yes, yes, the natural, not the animal. I'm like, wait a minute, who the fuck are you talking about? You saying the animal? No, but yes, yes, the natural, Randy the Natural Couture, and a lot of people call it like from when I was growing up and watching Randy Couture, I used to call him Captain America. That's what I used to call him. That was my nickname to him. I thought they should use that just because he was the epitome of what a real Captain America would look like and would be, But yeah, the Natural Couture. Romero is a different breed. Let's not talk about him. What? Yeah, man. Yoel Romero was a monster. Yoel Romero was a monster and still is a monster. He's still out there, competing. He's still out there going, in the gym, sparring. The guys, I don't even know how old Romero is. Let me check how old Romero is real fast. Because he's up there, man. Let's look at this guy's age, man. Let me see. Wow. Yoel Romero is 47 years old. 47 years old and he's still competing, man. That guy is, he's the animal. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yoel Romero is an animal. You know, all the fights that he had with Robert Whitaker, and then that Izzy fight. Yeah, man, he's a different breed. He's a different breed. Let me tell you. But man, all right, I've been on here for 40 minutes. Crazy physique for a 40s guy. I'm 36, by the way. If I followed UFC from the start, I would be watching Gracie. Yeah, yeah, we're close in age. We're close in age. I'm a bit younger, but yeah, I was when I was younger. I got a chance to actually watch uh, the early UFCs. Um, yeah, I had a bunch of fight fans, family members who were into combat sports, and yeah, they would order it. And at the time, in pay-per-view, it wasn't expensive to order a pay-per-view like it is now. Like where it's like almost $90, almost $100 to order a pay-per-view for the UFC now. But back then it was pennies. It literally was. So made it easy for me to gravitate towards combat sports and see the early UFC fights with no gloves. Yeah, my era, I got a chance to see Mike Tyson. I basically watched almost all of Mike Tyson fights, if I have to be honest. You know, we just, everybody would just come over my house and we'll just, because my house was famous for having, at the time, back then in the 80s and 90s, it was called, in the hood, at least in the streets, it was called a black box. And this black box would basically give you all the channels, all the channels for free, even pay-per-view channels. So we were one of the few and limited, people who had that black box. Thanks to uh, my father, he had some good connections working at the bodegas. He had met someone and hooked it up for us, and yeah, man, I got a chance to watch all the great fights. You do MMA right now? I do Brazilian Jiu Jitsu right now. Was sparring. I was sparring heavily. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, one of my last sessions in sparring, I got knocked down 3 times by this. I don't know. It was a big. It's probably a kid. He's probably like 20, 21 years old, and yeah, and we weren't sparring mixed martial arts. We were sparring only boxing. So yeah, I got rocked badly, and I was like, you know what, giving that one up just because I played football. I've done Brazilian Jiu Jitsu for a while. I did kickboxing and Muay Thai and boxing. So and I started sparring, uh, around like 14, 15ish. So once that happened to me as an older man, I think that what was that 2 years ago. So yeah, about 2 years ago. After getting rocked like that, I said I can't keep doing that to myself. Just because there's people that go to the gym. They're really trying to be something. They're really trying to go out there and compete in combat sports and possibly be the best and the best and the best. And sometimes in those sparring sessions you get that heat, and uh, nah, not anymore. I see. Cool. Did you see who? I saw it. I saw it, Jag. I saw it. I think it's very impressive. Like I said, and no, maybe I'll partake. You know, maybe if I'm in New Zealand one day, I can partake with community. That would be awesome. Have you done a hookah yet? No, not yet, Jag. Have you ever gotten so frustrated with the coworkers you invite them for a whole workout at the gym? You know what, Jag? I laugh at that because there's so many people out there that don't understand that there's levels to this shit. You know what I mean? There really is. You know what I mean? Like me getting, knocked down multiple times by a 20-year-old, by a kid, bro, that doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Just because I know what I'm capable of when I use it. My full attribute, which is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, takedown, kickboxing, and stuff like that. But, the guy was better than me with his hands. And there's people out there, literally, there's people out there in this world walking around thinking that they can defend themselves. I met them. And the way I know they can't defend themselves is when I be like, oh, come to my gym. Hey, I train. I train at this place, you should come. You should come. And I get, it's always the same answer. Oh no, I can't go into those gyms because if I go in there, I see red and I could really, really hurt somebody and kill somebody. It's like, bro, you're not gonna kill a damn fly. You're not gonna kill anybody. What's gonna happen is you're gonna walk into the gym, right? I'm gonna put you with maybe a 16-year-old, grown ass man going against a 16-year-old. And I bet you that 16-year-old would rock you. That's what I would tell them. I'd be like, please. You're not gonna see red. It's just you're afraid of an ass whipping. You're afraid of admitting to yourself, like, damn, I really can't defend myself. Like, I could probably defend myself against a regular person in a street fight, but against somebody who knows how to fight and is trained and their stamina is different, bro, you'll get killed. But yeah, no, I've done that before. I've invited people, and it's a no show. All right, Jag, it's a no show. Yeah, bro, their mentality and focus is different. Glad you're okay. Smart move to lay low. It's literally the only way you can invite someone to a fight without going to jail. Yeah, it really is. But you know what? Nobody will show up. Nobody will show up. I asked one of my family members. Just being real. I'm being real. I did ask one of my family members. And mind you, I'm not a big guy. I'm not a big guy at all, This family member is probably maybe I want to give him 3 inches taller than me. And right now, I probably weigh like 160, maybe 165. I give myself. This family member of mine, he probably weighs like 220. I'll give him 220, 215, being on the nice side. And this guy is supposed to be a tough guy, just tough guy, this and that. Growing up, that's what he was. I'm on the phone with him, and we're talking about my training and stuff like that. You know what I told him? I told him, hey, why don't you come out to my gym, and you know what I mean? I'll spar against you. You know what I mean? And if you do well, you know what I mean, we'll put you with the big boys. With the people who are actually your size. No show. Guy never showed up, and that's a family member. Guy never showed up. All right. There's people who are made for this, and there's people who are not made for this. You know what I mean? And I happen to enjoy mixed martial arts, and I happen to enjoy Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. If you don't enjoy it, if you don't enjoy learning, because getting beat up, it's a learning experience. If you don't enjoy that, you're not made for it. But yeah, Felix, I had to lay low. I had to come off. and basically admit to myself that I am not a great boxer. And it's crazy because that was my first uh, combat sports that I actually went into was boxing. But years of doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing, and Muay Thai, it just changed everything. It changed the way I do my combinations with my punches to my kicks to my wrestling when it comes to my takedown. And when I was sparring this kid, you know, um, his hands were just much better than me, way better. And his head movement was a lot better than mine. He was a specific boxer. So when you spar against a trained boxer who's been boxing since probably he was like 9 years old, 10 years old, and when I caught him, I caught him around 20, 21 years old. He had a decade of experience with his hands only. So sparring against him, I thought I could hold my own, and no. Like I said, I got knocked down 3 times, and all 3 times was like, whoa, man, how accurate that those punches are. Yeah, right now always no show. Right, it's always a no show. Yeah, man. Yeah, Jack. Do you put in front of them? Yo, Jack, you tripping? Oh man, you are hilarious. No, right? I should, right? No, no, but yeah, it's a no-show, man. They don't show up. I'm out of shape. I'll play table tennis again, and maybe try sparring. Eventually, boxing to stay in shape. Do hookah before table tennis. Yo, oh man, right? They'll kick you out, man. They'll kick you out if you do the hookah in front of people. People are gonna be like, "What is he doing? Oh my God, get him out of here! He's doing some juju." No, but yeah, yeah. I say it's always good and healthy to be in shape. You know what I mean? You never know what could happen. You never know when you're gonna you have to use your body. So you want to be ready at all times, for that. So, but yeah, yeah, man. I've been on here for almost an hour now, gathering mana. I have a good question for you if you follow. You know what? You know what? Who is that? I don't know who that is, Felix. You talking about the Japanese boxer that just recently won with a body punch? I'm telling you, I'm an encyclopedia right here. But are you talking about that guy? I don't know his name, but I remember recently I watched. Yep, see, I watched the fight. Yeah, I watched that fight just because um, I watched a few of his fights actually, and I thought his speed and accuracy was so impressive. Um, but yeah, go ahead with your question. Go ahead with your question, Felix. But yeah, his speed and accuracy is phenomenal. And recently, yeah, he won with a body punch, and that was you can just tell that body punch was something else. The thing is, he only fights in Japan. We think he is using something. That's why. Hmm. What's your question here? Like your question is like, do I believe he's using something, or what? What's the question here, Felix? But I'll answer it. I'll answer it right now. What do you think? Okay, what do I think? I hate to say this, and I'm just gonna be quite frank and I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to those type of drugs, performance enhancing drugs, that shit is running rampant. That shit is running rampant. All right, I've been in many different gyms, many different gyms. Okay, and it's come to the point where I can tell just by looking at you and the way you're moving. I can tell when you're on something. I can tell. Hey, how you doing, Ula or Isan Ula? How you doing, man? How you doing? Um, but yeah, I can tell when a person is on performance enhancing drugs just by the movement and the way their body looks. And sometimes you can't tell, you know, based on their body, but you can tell, excuse me, based on the way they're moving and their power. Like I've sparred a dude, or I sparred many dudes that, you know, their punching power is good, is normal, you know, in a sense. But then, you know, you get in there with someone, and I'm not gonna say the last sparring match he was on something, but I can say this: uh, I was lighter than him. I definitely was. I was probably like 20 pounds lighter than him. But yeah, every time he hit me, it felt different, and I can tell that. I can tell that. You know what I mean? Like a punch from a regular human being who's been training, a normal human being can take that, especially if you've trained before, you can take that. But you can tell when somebody hits you and you're like, huh, I'm gonna try to hit him exactly the same way. And you hit them the with 100% power or whatever it might be, and they don't even blink. That's when you know something's up. So I can't say that he is on something, but I'll say this: that shit is running rampant on regular gyms. So I cannot imagine how it is in that type of level where you're filling up stadiums. Okay, you have a huge following, a huge fan base, and people are depending on you. I don't know how that shit is gonna, how that shit works, but that shit is running rampant in regular gyms, and I cannot imagine how that shit is on that level. You must be getting all the good stuff. It's just like if you watch cycling, Lance Armstrong, he was on all the good stuff, all the best stuff, and you saw how his performance came out. 7 championships. Nobody ever done that. So yeah, he might be on something, he might not, but on that level, most likely he is. All right, Felix, it's crazy. Uh, Makes you think if these drugs enhance bone density to inflict more damage, in addition of the muscle mass. Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. 100%. 100%. You kidding me right now? Oh yeah. There's drugs out there that definitely help with your bone density. Your wrists get thicker. You end up gaining more weight. Your neck. Man, there's been people I've freaking done Brazilian Jiu Jitsu with that I can't even wrap my whole arm around their neck. And it's like, bro, what are you eating? You know? Yeah, man, your neck, your back gets big. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. And in a sport where your head is getting hit and you know, the job is to inflict more damage than the other person. That's a dangerous game that they're playing out there, but is what they sign up for. I don't know. I don't. I don't know if it'll destroy our sport. I really don't. I really don't know. I tell you what, John Jones is I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but John Jones is a perfect example. You know what I mean? The guy has been caught multiple times, you know, with, issues with testing, and the UFC, they have done a great job of covering. I don't want to say covering it, but they've done a good job navigating around those accusations, so to speak. Is he dirty? Well, on record, yeah, he is. He is. He has multiple times he's been caught. Um, and I believe one of those times, this is when the UFC tried to navigate around it, was basically they basically said, oh, that test, he failed that test due to a pulse. They called it a pulse from his last test that he had. Like, I guess the drugs were still in his system, and it still, I guess, what they were saying is it stood in his, maybe his fatty cells, deep in his fatty cells, and when he took that test, that's what happened. It wasn't a result of him taking a drug. It was a result of it being in his body already, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, he's been caught. John Jones had been caught cheating for sure. All right, I've been on here for a minute now. I see. Can John Jones and Silva fight? What division? What, Anderson Silva? No, Anderson Silva is. You're talking about Anderson Silva, right? Anderson Silva is retired from mixed martial arts, so no, they won't fight. They will never fight each other. But if John Jones would have fought Anderson Silva when he had went up, because he at one point when he went up to light heavyweight, it was because he cleaned his division. Okay, you think John Jones would win? Okay, well, Anderson Silva cleaned the middleweight division, so he had like no competition in the middleweight division. So he had they basically told him, if you want to stay busy, you go up to light heavyweight and you compete. And he ended up competing in light heavyweight division, and he made people look stupid, And that Forrest Griffin fight, oh my gosh! If John Jones fought that Anderson Silva, man, it's hard for me to go against Anderson Silva, that Anderson Silva, just because, man, he was doing he John Jones wasn't doing that. John Jones wasn't doing any highlight reel knockouts like that. He really wasn't. Anderson Silva was. He was doing things that no other mixed martial arts fighter was doing at that time. Yeah, I think, yeah, in my opinion, I think John Jones would have lost against Anderson Silva. And don't get me wrong, John Jones is he's a bigger guy than Anderson Silva. His wrestling is better. His Brazilian jiu-jitsu skills is better as well. But just stand up. Oh my gosh, I would have loved to see that fight. That would have been a great fight. But the UFC didn't put that on because they didn't want to. At the time, I guess they didn't want to. It's better to have two great champions than one. So it's business. It'll boil down to stamina at the end of it, I guess. They both have nasty elbows too. Yeah, man. Yeah, they both really did. I don't know though. I don't know. I think Anderson Silva would have taken it. Maybe a spinning back kick. He would have knocked out Anderson. He would have knocked out Jones with a spinning back kick, probably. Maybe. That's the way I see it. All right. But look, man, I've been out here for counting on 65 minutes. Oh, for sure, man, for sure. Thank you for the talk, Felix, man. You kept this interesting. I don't get a lot of viewers on live, but every so often I get a good convo going. Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, Felix, get some sleep, and thank you for the convo. I'll be back on most likely tonight for this UFC event, and I'll be doing play-by-play. You be safe, and over there on the West Coast, stay blessed.